We're taking a look at images of the Chinese spy balloon that were spotted over the Carolina coast. We have now learned just in the last 10 minutes or so that spy balloon has in fact been shot down over the Carolina coast. It seems as if in the Atlantic Ocean, and we're getting word now from U.S. officials.
I am checking around on several different websites here. We're checking with the Associated Press. We're checking Twitter on several different official. Oh, I believe it just happened there. That was it. Live, raw, and unfiltered. It appears that China spy balloon has now been shot down.
This balloon floating over the entire Pacific Ocean and then floating a third of the way across the United States before most people knew about it, and then continuing to fly the rest of the way over the United States and entering the Atlantic Ocean before being eventually intercepted and shot down by F-22 Raptors proves our airspace is nowhere near as secure as they pretend it is. We have a $1 trillion military defense budget, NORAD, all these bases all around the world, encircling China, encircling Russia, all over the Middle East, all over Africa, all over Asia. And we couldn't figure out that a balloon was floating our way. And then we couldn't do anything about it until it passed over the entire country. So that's another myth busted right there. Our airspace is not nearly as secure as they say it is. They didn't see this balloon coming, and then they couldn't shoot it down for fear of debris field, and then they couldn't do anything electronically to disable or pirate it either. This is obviously being used now to add fuel to the fire for the neocon, neo-lib coming war with China. You see the war in Ukraine and this eventual conflict with Russia for them is just a prelude to China. The intelligence agencies never miss an opportunity to use crisis to their advantage. So we are now going to see and hear more about things like this, and this is going to be used as an excuse to justify rising tensions with China. So they're going to use this to help drive a wedge between us and the Chinese people.
By now, you probably heard reports of the Chinese spy balloon floating over Canada and America. What if China has been in this for the long game? What if China has been paying off our top corporate empires and paying off our politicians like Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton's private server have been found with a code embedded on it that was reporting directly to the Chinese government. What if Joe Biden and Justin Trudeau was installed by China to purposely bankrupt a nation? For when it gets ready to attack, there's no money, there's nothing left because they gave it all to Ukraine. What if China has infiltrated the World Economic Forum and all these top financial businesses around the world? You see, China has played the long game, and we're sitting now on the end where they're going to reap the rewards. Wake up, people.
So first off, they're reusing one of the greatest songs of all time, some weird cover I've never heard of the Cranberries' Zombie. It's funny to me that is the background song they're using, and they're using a slowed down, weird version of it. So China has played the long game with Hillary Clinton. He's saying, what if China has been paying off our top corporate empires and politicians like Hillary Clinton? Well, yes, all sorts of domestic and foreign entities pay off our politicians, including Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and Joe Biden and Barack Obama and George Bush, and the list goes on. Every senator, every congressperson. They are all massively paid off by special interests, whether it's a corporation, a political action committee, whether it's an entity from the United States or Israel or Russia or China or Turkey or Iran or Saudi Arabia, the list goes on. So yeah, there is some truth to that, but the Chinese aren't paying off our top corporate empires and Hillary Clinton in some grand conspiracy to topple the nation. Our top corporate empires sold your jobs to China because it was more profitable for them. This isn't a communist conspiracy. This is a capitalist conspiracy where they took your jobs and they shipped them over to China. And then he talks about Hillary Clinton's private email server, which obviously was a major crime, major breach of regular protocol. It was to skirt FOIA requests. It was to skirt scrutiny. It was so she could do pay-to-play corruption on a massive scale, and she could hide that from any public eyes. That's what Hillary Clinton's server was. And I just love how for right-wingers, it's all about China, China, China with the Republicans. So Hillary Clinton's server was pinging China, and for the so-called left-wingers, it's all about Russia, Russia, Russia. So Trump was pinging Alpha Bank or whatever in Russia. That was what Trump was. It's all about servers pinging the state-sanctioned enemies. Joe Biden and Justin Trudeau are not installed by China. They're installed by the elites here in this country and in Canada to carry out their will, not the Chinese will, the will of the economic capitalist elites of the West. That is who's controlling Joe Biden and Justin Trudeau. And he's saying, what if they're here to bankrupt the countries so that when China comes to invade, there's nothing left because they sent it all to Ukraine. Well, I agree. Sending a bunch of shit to Ukraine is a waste of money, and it's also bringing us closer to nuclear war. But is it bankrupting America? No. It just shows how shitty our priorities are, that will give hundreds of billions of dollars at the drop of a hat to wage a proxy war in Europe with a nuclear power, but we won't give any money to our people to fix any of the problems anywhere in this country. We would never give $100 billion to the American people. We would only give it to the Ukrainian people because it's not going to them. It's going to our weapons contractors and our bomb builders. That's who it's going to. It's a grift. China also isn't going to invade the US. That's never happening. If you look at the way the Chinese military is set up, if you look at the way the Chinese economy is set up, it's reliant on the US. And the Chinese military is a military built on defense of their homeland. From the way their troops are organized to the weapons they're using, everything is designed to take out the offensive capabilities of American fleets and air power in their domain. They don't have aircraft carriers to try and project power across the ocean. They don't have a deep water ocean fleet. They are not trying to project power with 1,000 foreign military bases around the world. That's the United States. The way their economy is set up is they're producing a ton of goods, and they have a growing middle class in their country, and it's growing at a rapid rate, but they're sending a ton of their shit to the United States as well as other people. We're one of their largest trading partners. So they by no means want to invade us, and their monetary system's also reliant and tied to the US dollar, which means they're tied to our economy in another way as well. So they're not looking to invade us overnight and do a Red Dawn Chinese style. So now he's saying, what if China has infiltrated the World Economic Forum and these top financial businesses around the world, blah, 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 blah. And then he's telling you to wake up, people. The World Economic Forum is the West, my friend. It's the capitalists, it's the elitists, it's what you would call the globalists. They're not infiltrated by China. Although they do look at China and admire it and try to copy it, and they will do the best they can to make the West resemble Chinese authoritarianism. Are they going to copy any of the models of China that helped uplift people out of poverty or redo the entire infrastructure of the nation and do the biggest building spree in human history? No. What they're going to do is they're going to copy things like social IDs, robo police dogs, and AI and surveillance, all these authoritarian measures that don't spell anything good for regular working people. That's who the World Economic Forum is. They don't need to be infiltrated by China to do bad things. They do bad things by themselves already. Okay? I mean, the main spokesperson, it literally sounds like a bad guy from a James Bond movie.
Excellencies, distinguished heads of state and government, Excellencies, dear partners and friends of the World Economic Forum.
I also need you to take a picture with the midget. holding these balloons. Take a picture with the midget, holding these balloons, holding these balloons.
What's the matter? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils? Huh?